Alright, hello guys. This is another video that was requested. This is for the Forest Moon Challenge Tier 2, Empire and Droids versus Ewoks. A lot of people have been having trouble with this, so here we go. This is a recording, so I'm just voicing over the recording. We're going to go ahead and get into this, and I'll kind of describe my thought process behind it as we go in it. Hopefully, I'm not going to be interrupted, but I may have some interruptions in the house with my son and possibly my wife if she comes back upstairs. So here we go. Here is the recording. Okay. So the team that you're going to want to use here is Thrawn lead with BB-8, IG-100, B1, and B2. The goal here is to do minimal damage in the beginning so that you can get up your stacks. Ideally, you're going to want about roughly 250 stacks on your B1 by the time that you hit phase 4. This is fairly easy. It's a pretty easy target to hit. You're always going to want to use your B1 to heal up Magna Guard, even if he's just missing a sliver of health. If he is at full health, then you can go ahead and heal up someone else if it's needed, but ideally you're going to want to be doing it only on the IG-100. You're going to want to try to save your cooldowns, Illuminated Destiny, the Turn Meter swap from Thrawn, the Fracture. You're going to want to save all of these cooldowns, ideally for the beginning of a new encounter, if at all possible. If not possible, then get as many as you can. So the goal is don't use your AoE with B2, because that's going to do more damage and it's going to lessen the number of stacks that you can obtain. So you do slow damage. I always focus down on one target and then move to the next one. Very, very simple. You use your Thrawn's turn meter swap over to B1 pretty much every time, so he gets that bonus turn, and you can get a couple more stacks that way. And so you're basically alternating specials with Thrawn, and that's it. You don't have to use Fracture at all until you're into phase 4. So we're going to kind of do a fast forward here. You can use Illuminated Destiny anytime that you feel. Just want to make sure that you have Illuminated Destiny ready for when you are moving into a new encounter. So we're going to do a little bit of a fast forward here. We don't want to watch 30 minutes of this type of nonsense. So this took me 2 attempts to get done. The first attempt, I could have won it, but I decided to gamble, and I didn't use Illuminated Destiny on the first turn from BB-8 in Phase 4. So I just did his wiggle move, as I thought I had enough turn meter on Thrawn, but I didn't. And so Devo took his turn and one-shot my Thrawn. So let that be a lesson to you. Don't try to gamble, and just go for it. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and fast forward. I always focus on the Ewok Scouts first because they have more damage output. And then I focus on the Warriors, and I save the Elders for last. Because the Elders, if they revive, then that's going to actually extend the fight a little bit more. And you might be able to get a few more stacks. So as you can see in there, I did have Illuminated Destiny ready, but I didn't use it because I'm trying to increase the number of stacks that I get, and I'm trying to save my cooldowns for the beginning of the next phase. As you also saw there, I got a little bit unlucky in that my B1 got hit a few times from these scouts, and that took away a few stacks. I was still able to make my 250 rough goal by the time I hit phase 4. So again, here I am ignoring the Elder. The Elder does die due to AoEs eventually, nothing you can do about that, but you leave him alive as much as you can and focus on those scouts that are doing the damage. You'll be able to increase your stacks a little bit. I'm going to fast forward again here. As you can see, been focusing strictly on the scouts, ignoring the Elder. Elder's last one that's alive. He got a few revives off in here, which allowed me to get even a few more stacks, just like I was talking about. So there you go. There's phase 3, and same thing here. I'm going to focus down first on the scout, then I'm going to focus on the warriors, and then the Elder last. Here we go. Just kind of doing a little bit of fast forward because this is a pretty long fight. The Elder does die due to just AoEs here, so I'm not able to actually keep him alive for super long. But now we are getting close to the end of this encounter, and I want to make sure that I keep all of my cooldowns ready for this encounter. So I'm making sure that I don't use Illuminated Destiny, I don't use Fracture, I don't use my turn meter swap from Thrawn, I don't use anything, so that I have my stuff ready. And then I'm trying to look at my turn meter. I'm trying to ensure that I have a good amount of turn meter on someone, preferably either BB-8, Thrawn, or IG-100, any one of them. I want to have some good turn meter so that I can have the first turn. And there I had 0 turn meter on IG-100, but I had almost full turn meter on BB-8. So that was great. BB-8 gets the Illuminated Destiny first. I fracture Tebow, and then I can start working on these Elders. So you focus down on the Elders first. Ideally, you're going to want to DPS them down at the same time, at the same rate, so that they don't end up reviving each other. And as you'll see here, I did end up killing off the Elders one at a time, over and over and over again, and they kept on reviving themselves. So it was a little bit of bad luck there. But this is when you can actually just start going ham and just do as much damage as you possibly can on these guys. So you're using your AoE from B2, your Illuminated Destiny, not all the time. You want to save Illuminated Destiny for a point when Thrawn does not have Fracture. If Thrawn has Fracture, and you use Illuminated Destiny, it gives him full turn meter, and it's going to end the Fracture. You want to keep him fractured as long as possible. So here, Tebow got his turn, and he used his stealth move, which didn't matter at all. So that was great. I get my fracture onto Tebow. And then here, trying to get rid of this other Elder. But I'm not able to do it in time. Now, I could have used Illuminated Destiny there, but Thrawn had a pretty fresh Fracture. If I had used Illuminated Destiny, I could have killed that Elder, but Fracture would have come off, and that might have ended up screwing me over. So I did not use that. And so as you can see, back and forth. I kill one Elder, the other one comes up. Kill the other Elder, the other one comes back up. So a little bit annoying, but I've got plenty of stacks on my B1. It's enough to full heal anyone. Here I should have actually swapped turn meter over to BB-8 because BB-8 had more turn meter, but I did it to IG, or I did it to B1. Got my Illuminated Destiny ready here. Gonna go ahead and use that. We're trying to get to Thrawn's Fracture as soon as we can, so that we can get Tebow under control. So Tebow takes his turn there, but I'm now able to get another Fracture before he takes a second turn, and now this encounter is done. He's fractured for the rest of the time. I'm up over 300 stacks now on my B1, so he's doing crazy good damage. And we're moving back into some of these other encounters that are just kind of boring. So we're going to go back and fast forward until we get to phase 8 or encounter 8. It's all the same thing. There's no reason to really slow it down here. Focus down the scouts first, and then the warriors, and then the elders. If you want, you can focus down the elders before you do the warriors or scouts. It's really up to you. By the time that you reach encounter 4, you should have roughly 400 stacks, give or take, maybe a little bit more. And as you can see, I'm at 404. And again, you're going to want to have your cooldowns ready for encounter 4. Now, this is not near as bad. Encounter 4, you can lose someone and still be fine. It's just a matter of getting out the Elder first, probably Wicket second. You want to try to control the days coming from Logray, because Logray's days can really put a hamper on you if it goes onto B2. So I fracture Logray right at the beginning, prevent him from taking turns and dazing my B2. Focus down on Elder, take him out first. Damage output from B1 is absolutely insane at this point. He has just so many stacks. He's got so much offense. You watch here, his AoE is doing like 60,000s. And I'll be going over my mods here at the end of this. I really don't need to probably show this part because it's super straightforward. Even maybe not quite as straightforward and easy as the random little Ewok scouts and warriors, but it's pretty easy. So Logray got a daze, but it didn't go on to B2, which is great. It went on to Thrawn and on BB8, but no big deal there. Big thing was I didn't want to get it onto B2. So now that Elder's gone, I can focus down on Wicket, because his AoE is going to take stacks away from my B1, which is just annoying. And then I can take out the Logray. Looks like I'm focusing on Chirpa. And I fracture Poplu, but fracturing Poplu here wasn't like something I really needed to do. I could have done that on anyone. Not sure why I was focusing on Chirpa. Really, like I would have rather focused on Logray, but it doesn't really matter. Because at this point it's totally won. So there we go. Logray and Chirpa's down. And Poplu's going to follow here very shortly. And we'll get into our the mods that I use. I did not swap any mods around. These are just mods that I have on for Grand Arena. Nothing super special. The idea here is there's 39,000 from that AoE on a tank, so that was quite a bit of damage. So the mods are not super special, they're just kind of what I have on them. We'll be going over each of them in turn, and honestly, there's 3 important ones. That's going to be Thrawn. You want him to be fast, so that Thrawn can get his fracture out, he can get his turn meter swaps around, you want B1 to be super fast. You want more speed focus on B1 than you do on damage. So here's BB-8, 291 speed, like about 900,000 health and protection. It's pretty good, but I have done this at Gear 12 and not Relic. Used Relic 7 for the Ray event, but I have done it with him at Gear 12, and this does work very easily. Main thing on B1, again, you want speed. I have him at plus 108 with roughly 1500 offense. If I did it faster, it'd be better, but that was like I said, I wasn't gonna swap mods around for this. B2 have him kind of tanky, about 110k health and protection, 154 speed. He doesn't need to be fast. He takes his turns from the bonus turns. Potency, tenacity, damage doesn't really matter. He's there to just kind of feed a little bit of turn meter, and once you get to phase 4, figuring the stealth, putting the buff immunity on, that was important. IG 100 super important to have him really tanky. Mine's about 160k health and protection with about 53 speed. He has to be able to survive at least one hit from T-Bow, as well as maybe a couple of hits from the Elders. There's almost no way you're going to survive 2 hits, but you need him at least to be able to survive 1. And then Grand Admiral Thrawn, you just kind of want him to be fast. I've got him at 279 speed, so he's not super fast, and he's Gear 12 as well. So this is totally doable with this team, and you can do it with BB-8 at Gear 12. I would say that it's not necessary to have IG 100 at relic levels if you have some amazing mods, but it's going to be kind of difficult to get him to survive a hit from T-Bow if he's not Gear 13 and with at least some relics. So mine's Relic 3. Yeah, so there you go. Hopefully that's going to help you guys out. And until the next time, have a good one.